Hello, hello. This is Marsha LaFroth. I'm realizing I need to maybe up this a little. Sorry, I usually try to have that set before I begin. I know this is not as beautiful as when I print it on my computer, but I was running late and couldn't find my thing I'd already printed and didn't have time to do a new one. So this is my host code for this month. If you order and use the host code and your order's over $50, you get a free gift from me. This month the gift is a new ink pad or set of Stampin' Blends, and you just message me after you email or message me after you order and tell me what you want. Okay. I am seeing my video now. I usually do my lives at noon, but I have to go somewhere today, so I'm doing it at 11. So sorry if you look for me at noon and I'm not there. Okay, and I'm also out of breath because I was running around my house. All right. Okay, well today I wanted to share with you one of my favorite fun folds, and I wouldn't be surprised if I've already done a video on this fold with different stamps. This is a card that holds it. When you open it, you have a gift card pocket. And we just recently did this at our Super Saturday event. And at a Super Saturday event, I think we did it years ago, I did this one. So it's a pattern that's been around. And at my last retreat, we did a birthday card version with the birthday balloons. And I was trying to find that one to show you guys, but I think I gave them all away. I made a few and I couldn't find any, so I just assume I gave them away. But it's a really fun pattern. It's pretty easy. It has a lot of layers, but other than that, it's easy and you can obviously redo it in many ways. And so we're gonna just dive in. The reason I really wanted to show this to you today, though, with this cute sending cheer bundle, is because it is really discounted right now. Let me find my catalog. You need to order it not as a bundle to get the discount. So the bundle, which was already 10% off, was $53 to get the dies and the stamps. But right now the stamp set's marked down and the dies are marked down, and you can get both for $35.40. And at least when I checked the status report today, this is still in stock. So if you love this cute little set, it's a great deal right now to get both the dies and the stamps, $35.40. And the little embossing folder I'm going to use today is also marked down to $7.65. So that's why I thought, oh, perfect, we're going to show this project. So a lot of you may have come to Super Saturday and made it. It was one of Kim's projects. So let's dive in. Let's get all our pieces first, and then I want to give you some of my tips for getting good bold images on these stamps. I dropped water on my gingerbread man today, so that's why he looks like that. But otherwise, you can see it's a beautiful bold image. Okay, so let's first get all our pieces. I'm going to do this color scheme, the Granny Apple Green. And by the way, the DSP I used on this was from Merry Bold and Bright. I used one pattern on the front, one on the inside. On this one, I used the Berry Christmas designer paper. And I kind of got the color scheme idea from this card we made at the cruise I went on with Patty Bennett and Kirsten Del Rosario. And I first made a real red base, and then I realized these were Sweet Sorbet, and I liked that better, but didn't want to redo the whole thing. If I was to do this card again, I would do a Sweet Sorbet base, just FYI. Okay, back to this. So I'm going to show you how you can cut two at once. Obviously, if you were going to just make one, you would just cut at 4 1/4 first and then put the score lines in. But if you were going to cut two, then we're going to score first. So score at 5 1/2 and 9 1/4. So I'm taking my 8 1/2 by 11, and I'm going to put it at the 5 1/2 mark and do one score line and then go, if I have room here, I don't know, I have a lot of stuff on my desk. I have a little tiny spot to work with. Then I'm going to move it to the 9 1/4 mark and score. Okay, so I have a sheet that looks like this with 2 score lines. Then I'll turn and cut at 4 1/4. This is how I always cut for classes, because then I only have to do the scoring once and I get 2 out of 1. And then I get my 2 card bases, which is what we're going to use. I'm only going to make 1 with you now, but that's how I would cut 2 at a time. And then let's just look at these layers. So I have melon mambo layer, dump these little things out, left, that's here, and right, but it's not going to go, the right one is actually going to go, so you'll fold that in, that's what's going to make our pocket, and then this right one would layer here. They're both 4 inches tall. This one is 3.5 wide. This is 1.5. Right, yeah, sorry, I got confused by my own measurements. Then we have our designer paper. For the front, it's 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. But for the inside, it's a little bigger because we don't have that layer. So the inside one's going to go there. I'm going to not put that on at this red hot second. And then our white layers, they're really close, but the front one's a little smaller because, again, we have that layer. So this one's 3 3/4. No, what is it? Yes, 3 3/4 tall by 3 1/4 wide, whereas the inside piece is 3 1/2 wide by 4 inches tall. Okay, so that's the inside piece. And then we're going to emboss this with this adorable Christmas tidings folder. Like I said, it's marked down today to $7.65. And this is not a 3D folder. I'm so used to using 3D folders where you have that special plate, but this is where you just use 2 clear plates to emboss. So let me do that first, and we can put our layers together, and then I'll give you some tips on stamping with this set. Now this has a really cute little gingerbread in it, but you're not, it's all gonna get hidden when by kind of the stuff underneath, so you won't really see it, but it's there. Just know it's there. It's cute. And because there are some words, I care about this being even. All right, let me just run it through my, oops, I forgot. This is a 2-1. Let me run it through my machine, which I'm not going to bring into the picture because I'd have to move too many things. All right, so we have that layer. So let's do our layers first, and that's the basic thing. Again, I've done on all these cards, those same measurements. Wish I had the birthday one to show you guys, but I gave it away. For my piano students' birthdays, I always give a card with a little, it's not really a gift card, it's like a little coupon to pick a prize from the box. So I like these pocket cards that I can tuck that inside. Okay, so I'm just gonna put, oh, guys, look what I did. I did the inside layer instead. Oops. Well, that's, I'm gonna just throw that away because it's covered with glue. I don't know if you guys were watching me and saw that I was about to do that. Oops, oops, oops. We're gonna do this again. Let me run this through. And I am not going to make the whole card anyway because some of my stuff got mixed up at Super Saturday with the other demonstrators I was doing it with, and I didn't make it home with everything. So I'm just kind of walking you through this card. And if you want to hang around, hey Catherine, I know you've already made this one, but if you want to hang around to the end, I will show you. Now see, this time I made my gingerbread man going sideways. Oh well, it's gonna get covered anyway. But I'll show you what we made and also the beautiful swaps people made. So if you're on my, I think I posted those pictures just in my post about the event. So you may have seen that already. All right, this has words going both directions, so it doesn't really matter, but the first time I did try to get my gingerbread man right side up, but oh well. All right. Hi, Nanette. You do which all the time? Emboss the wrong layer or have it upside down, sideways? Okay, so then we're going to put that one here. Now, I'm actually going to tape the one that goes on the inside down first before I attach it. So this is, I know it looks different, but that's actually going to tuck inside. And before we tape it or glue it down, we're going to punch a little opening. And I've used, like, I think this one you can see, I used a different punch. You can use really anything. It just, oh, I see. Yes, Nanette, mix and match the pieces you cut. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Okay, so you just cut a little bit, just sort of to make it easier to get the card in and out. Now, I would use like narrow tear tape. I'm seeing if I have any nearby. This is not a Stampin' Up! Brand. Sukwang, I don't know. I bought like a pouch that had all these different sizes. Although really, there's actually plenty of room. You could use the full-size tear tape now that I'm looking at it, but since I grabbed this one, we'll just stay with it. And glue also is strong. It's just not as fast. You have to let it dry. And so I like to use these. And for some reason, I like to put my card in there when I close it. I somehow feel like that makes it work better. And I don't know if it's my imagination, but okay. Now that part's done, we can do these other layers. And of course, this pattern is great for birthdays also, which is what I probably use it more for. And this paper is with the polka dots. Wow, looks like I didn't do that evenly. It has like a color scheme that keeps changing. So some of these, well, those are pretty similar. Some of them are different than others. It's all a little different. Okay, we'll cut the inside later, but I wanted to give, first of all, I wanted to point out the Mambo, the shiny paper that I think this is actually $1 off. You get the Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green, and it just adds a little shine to your project. I did Granny Apple on the greeting, 1.5 inch circle, and then my little hearts. Oh, I thought I brought a piece over. I've lost my little Mambo one. Well, anyway, I cut those out of the Mambo to add on there. And those are all part of the dies. So you get, you cut 3 little hearts at once. You also get this size hearts. I'll show you another project. Then a stocking, a present, gingerbread man, and a tag, and a hat. And anyway, okay, so usually most people, or even myself, I'm gonna stamp and then die cut. But for whatever reason, with this present, it was easier for me to line it up if I die cut the pieces first. So that's what I did. And the key to getting nice, good images is to have a well-inked ink pad I'm looking for my ink pads. That's why I'm like pausing going, where did I put those? Well-inked inked pad and a piercing mat underneath. Now, I didn't test mine to see if they were well inked before I started, so we're gonna hope they are. Now I have to find my stamps. Okay, so, and I also like to give a primer layer, okay, to just like get it ready to stamp. I recommend that always, especially with photopolymer. Okay, so then I'm going to just lay this over what's already there. And not only does this piercing mat give me a good image, it helps me see what I've already punched out. Okay. And then, I mean, that wasn't perfect. There's a little bit of speckles, but that's okay. Then I'm going to come in. This is the one that, again, I felt like if I had this guide up here, it was easier than trying to stamp it first and then go cut it, because I might have not put it in the exact right space. So that's one of my tips. If you get this set, to just go ahead and cut your present first. For me, that worked better. I don't actually know what you guys did at Super Saturday because I was not running this project, but that's how I like to do it. Because then see how I can see so clearly through that white underneath and just get it in the right spot, at least up there. Maybe there, I could have scooted down. So there's that. And then my gingerbread man, I really recommend you use pecan pie for the perfect gingerbread man color. Unfortunately, my pecan pie ended up in somebody else's bin at Super Saturday, and so I don't have it yet. I have to get it back from her. So I'm using copper clay, which is a little more red and dark, but I'll just show you the same kind of thing. I'm making sure it's juicy. I'm going to give one layer there. This one's going to be much darker because it's not the same color. And this one is fine to me to stamp first and then cut. But when I was making like, well, that's not perfect, but I made like 28 of these little gifts, and it was just, rather than trying to line them all up, I just cut all 25 pieces first and then went and stamped. So that was my preference, to do it that way, instead of having to try to tape the washi in just the right place. And yeah, it's not perfect, as you can see. And then this one, because we're not using the tag part, we just kind of cut off the little opening. And then you've got your little face, and you can either stamp your hearts. I'm grabbing a black ink pad. You can either stamp your hearts on the little buttons, you can leave them white, or you can die cut little hearts. And anyway, like I said, I would recommend pecan pie, but mine is in somebody else's bin right now. Okay, what else do I want to show you? I think that is just about it. You can see, I was going to cut my little hearts for you out of the foil. Hold on, let me grab some. Oh, maybe I just left it right here. There it is. Show you, and here you can see I use the other, here's the other pieces. This tag piece is behind the gingerbread man. This little circle thing is this piece. And then these little hearts came from there. So it has a lot of fun pieces. And like I said, it's marked down right now. It's a good time to get it. Okay. Oh, okay. Here's what I was going to show you. Also, this is a great set. Other than that embossing folder, I had to use my bigger machine. It's a great set for the mini. If you just have the mini, you can cut all of these pieces. They all fit on there. And if you have the mini and you don't use it, my guess is it's because you have a hard time getting it to flow through. And I recommend, the Stampin' Up! Tells you to use a white on the bottom and then 2 clear plates. Sorry, I'm out of camera. If you use the gray on the bottom, even though they say that's for embossing, it actually cuts really nicely with the gray. So I recommend, unless it's something super duper intricate, I recommend you use the gray always, and just you'll feel so much happier trying to get that to crank through. Another little tip is to not have these flush. Have the top one a little further past, and it just grabs it better. But really with this gray thing, it just rolls so smoothly. And if you haven't tried that and you do, you'll all of a sudden find yourself, I predict, using your mini much more. That's at least what happened for me and others I know. Okay, so now I have to get those off because my thing's sort of beat up. And my tip for attaching those, oops, I just whacked the camera, sorry, is instead of trying to put glue on the back of them, just put a little, we'll see if this will flow for me. You saw I like to use the green and white glue for layers, but when I have little tiny spots, I do like this Art Glitter brand glue. Okay, and then I like to use the putty end of a take your pick tool. I found that worked. Oops, I didn't get it in the right spot for there. And again, you can leave those white, or you can, when I was mass producing, I did not go through all of this. I just, where'd my little present go? I just stamped it with the stamp instead and didn't line them up perfectly, but it was fine. It gave color. So that's just my tips for cutting those hearts and picking them up. And then when I made this card, I did the gingerbread flat, and I did the gingerbread and present flat, and then popped up the greeting, which I used some retired things to get. I believe the 1.5 punch is now back on an online thing you can buy, which is my outside piece. This piece I either cut with the layering circle dies, which are retired, or this is the same size if you have this really old punch like me, 1 3/8. Of course, you can just modify with whatever punches you have, the circle punch. And then I used a 1/8 inch punch to punch a hole, which also got left at Super Saturday. So I don't have that either. And then the twine came from the In Color twine. It comes with like the blues and the red, and that's just what I happen to have left. And so then that, I put the twine and tied the bow, popped up, and my sequins here are the glitter sequins that came with the Berry Christmas Suite. I could have used these little iridescent sequins that came with the Merry and Bright Suite, but I just happened to do those. And these were some tinsel gems. And then again, I didn't put this whole thing together, but on the inside, I stamped some of the holly from that adorable set. So there you go. There's a gift card idea for you. There's, this is greatly marked down right now. It's a good deal. And, but you can of course make this pattern with any card. And when you answer my question of the day, you get entered to win the project I made. And I'll get to my question in a second. Let me just tell you about this in case anyone would be interested in making it. It's crazy simple. It's 8.5 inches wide, and I just didn't keep it quite 5.5 tall. I made it, 5 inches tall, because my original one was even shorter, but I wanted, with the glue and stuff, that to be about equally framed around there. So I started with, you know what, I could just show you really quick. I didn't write down the measurements. But I'll just show you how I did it. Okay, well this is just a regular card that I somehow already have scored at 4 1/4. And that's really all you're doing, except you're cutting out a section. So I would do it 5 instead of 5 1/2. And then I came up, because I wanted to have my DSP. You could make your front however big, but I wanted to be able to do 2-inch strips of DSP. So I came up at the 2 1/4 inch mark on this corner, and I cut into where my score line is, and then I just turned and cut these. Cut that out. Okay, and that's how I got my little pocket. And then I used that thin tear tape that I showed you before to tape it closed. I think I put my DSP on first, then I put that tear tape and stuck it inside and, you know, sat and held it down. So that's if you ever wanted to give someone one sheet of dimensionals, which is probably more something a demonstrator would give at like an event, then that is how I did that. And that's it. I'm going to show you the stuff we made for those who may not have seen it. My question for the day in honor of Thanksgiving tomorrow, which, by the way, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, is what's your favorite pie? Or you know what? Maybe just what's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Because pie is not mine. Mine is like, wow, it's a toss-up between so many things. I was going to say mashed potatoes, but then it's like, I love stuffing. I love sweet potato casserole. I love rolls. But I think probably out of those, the thing I don't get the other times of year so much is the sweet potato casserole and the rolls. Okay, stuffing for Catherine. Yeah, and I grew up with like stovetop, which I actually love. Or my grandma made one that I like too, but my husband's godparents, they make this one with sausage and stuff in it. It's amazing, that stuffing. I'm excited. Okay, some of you came to Super Saturday, you made these, but this is what we made there. Super Saturday is where we get together and you go to 12 different tables and make 12 different cards. And if you want to join my cruise next October, I'm hosting a cruise with Cindy Lake, and we're going to have 2 Super Sea days, basically, where you do the same thing, but you're on a cruise instead. Okay, this was one of Ida's projects, made with the Winter Owl set. That's retiring. This was one of Tara Golem's projects, made with, I forgot the name of it, but it's also retiring. This was one of my projects that I actually got from Cindy Lake. She made it as a swap, and I just copied it. This was one of Tara's projects. Beautiful nativity set. This was my project. That was this month, or I don't know what month. That was one of the recent paper pumpkin sets I used on the inside, but the truck is an online set. This is another one of mine, Noelle, and this is one of Kim's. And I think all of these sets are retiring. If you missed at 10 o'clock today, you could go back and find it. I did a walkthrough of the mini catalog saying what's retiring, what's not. This beautiful, delicate little fun fold card was Ida, one of her projects. I feel like I'm definitely missing some here. We're running out. This was one of Ida's also, with the cute Merry Bright Lights. This was one of Tara's. And, okay, like I said before, the card I showed you before with the gingerbread man, that was one of Kim's. And this was also Kim's with the candles. And those are the 12 we made. And then some of the ladies signed up for a swap, and I loved the cards they made, and I really lucked out that even though I didn't do the swap, I got the cards. So thank you for sharing. These are what they made. And I don't I believe this was Stampin' Up, but it's retired. But wow, isn't that gorgeous with all the, I love glitter, so of course I loved that. This was made by, oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. I'm sorry if you watch and I can't remember your name. It might come to me. Bonnie, not Wilson, but Bonnie something else. I believe, no, I don't even have names. I'm just going by memory. I believe this was made by Amy. This was Sandy Jones. I hope I'm getting this right, guys, because they were in a bag with names and I took them out. Bonnie Wilson, I believe. Brooke Jones. Okay, I've made so many truck cards, but isn't that cute with the, you can't really tell there's Wink of Stella. That's why I'm holding it like that. Isn't that cute with that different pink and blue color scheme? I think it's so adorable. And it can be used for a birthday, right? Oh, well, it does say Christmas. Never mind. But if you didn't put Christmas on the inside, this fun fold was made by Audrey Wallet. Not pretty. And this was made by Jackie Barnes, I believe. And I'm missing some because I know it's possible if it was a fall one that I used it because I mailed my Thanksgiving cards finally yesterday. But there were 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm missing 2. I know Sally made one, and I think I'm missing hers, and I don't know. But anyway, sorry I'm missing some, but those were the cards that were made for the swap. So it was fun, and thank you to everyone who came, and thanks you guys for watching me today. I'm looking to see what you guys like. Stuffing, sweet potato casserole, pumpkin pie. Aren't we so excited that we're talking about this at least the day before, which means we get to go eat it tomorrow. I'm excited. So thank you for joining me, and oh, that's not the finished one, but whoever wins will get this card, and I'll hopefully have the right color to do that gingerbread man soon. Take care and happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.